walking in purpose. So you discover what to do, and you discover what not to do. You discover where to go. You discover where not to go.
Yeah.
You discover what to say. You discover what not to say.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You learn who to listen to.
Right.
And you learn who to not listen to.
Right.
Y'all walk with me. We're going somewhere. You discover what's right. You discover what's not right.
Yes, sir.
You discover what's wise, and you discover what's unwise. See, I often say this to a lot of the guys I talk to. We begin to talk about communication because, you know, that's a barrier sometimes, but it's also a breakthrough a lot of times. Communication is also a breakthrough a lot of times. And sometimes you have to realize it's not about who's right or who's wrong. Sometimes it's about what's wise and what's unwise.
Yeah.
So just because you're right doesn't mean it's wise.
That's solid.
Just because you're right doesn't mean you're wise.
Amen.
Just because you're right doesn't mean that it's wise to say it.
Wow.
Here's a question. I'm not calling anybody this, but why would you argue with a fool?
Amen. Wow.
Why would you argue with a fool?
Mm.
I'm not calling one, but why would you do that? A mind is made up.
Yeah.
So why would you do it? Jesus didn't even do it. He kept it moving. So Ecclesiastes 3:1 says this. It says, so to everything. To not some things, to everything.
Yeah.
To everything, including your purpose. To everything. There's a season and a time to every purpose.
Every purpose.
Under the sun.
Under the sun. Wow.
Everything that happens in the earth, there's a season and a time for it. Everything. Everything that happens under the sun in the earth, there's a season and a time for it. Nothing is a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence.
Wow. Yeah.
Everything's happened for a purpose. Everything. So real quick, let's go to some scripture real quickly. John 10:5. I want to read this to you. So we're talking about purpose, and it's the reason that something was created or the reason why it exists. God is not a wasteful God. Everything that He created has purpose. God just doesn't do it just to see Himself do it. He do it because it has purpose. And you have purpose in you.
That's right.
You have greatness in you.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
You have greatness in you.
Yes.
Need you guys to get that.
Yes.
So John 10:5. I'm going to start at verse 5. Let me start at 1. It says, very, very, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. But he that entereth in the door is the shepherd of the sheep. Verse 3, to him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice. And he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. Verse 5, and it says, and a stranger they will not follow.
Will not follow.
But flee from them. But flee. Not only will they not follow him, but it says they will flee from him. It says, for they know not the voice of strangers. They know not the voice of strangers.
Amen.
And I want to skip to this verse right here. Verse 10. This is the one I want you to get. This is really the one I want you to get. Verse 10. It says this. It says that the thief cometh to kill, steal, and what?
Destroy.
He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. It's but that's a but.
Yeah.
It says that's his purpose.
Right.
That's his purpose.
That's his purpose.
But Jesus says, I came to give you life
Yes, sir.
and life more abundantly.
Yes, yes.
Life more abundantly.
Uh-huh.
That's why Jesus came.
Yes.
I like to when I study, I like to play with different versions of it. So that was the King James version, and the New Living NLT says this. It says the thief's purpose, his purpose is to kill, steal, and destroy. But my purpose is to give them a rich and satisfying life.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rich and satisfying life.
Uh-huh.
Amplified version in John 10:10 says this. It says the thief comes only in order to kill and destroy. I came that they may have, and enjoy life.
Yes.
See, that's the purpose of life. God wants you to enjoy your life.
That's right. That's
See,
right.
God doesn't want you to worry. He doesn't want you to be afraid. He doesn't want you to walk in fear. You know why? Because if you're walking in fear, if you're walking in doubt, if you're walking in those things, then he can't get the glory out of your life. Because you focus on those things and he's not in the center.
Yes. Yes.
See, he's not in the center. See, I say this often that a lot of times we look at arrogance as when we think too highly of ourselves, and so you're in the center, and God is not in the center, and what he should be, he can't operate in that. Hey, but listen, when you also walking in low self-esteem and think too lowly of yourself, that also is a form of just walking in arrogance and everything as well, because you still in the center.
You in the center.
He's not in the center.
Amen.
So on one end you saying, God, I got it, I don't need you. On the other end you saying, God, you don't know what you did and you created me. And God says, you're the apple of my eye. You are my most prized possession.
Yeah.
And God is not a wasteful God. So he created you to walk in purpose. And he's not a wasteful God. He just didn't create things just because. He created it because it has purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And until you begin to walk in your purpose, you're holding a lot of things up. You're holding yourself up, and you holding everybody else up. Because somebody else, in order for somebody else to walk in your purpose, you got to walk in your purpose. Because your destiny is somebody else's destiny is tied directly into you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Directly into you.
Teach it.
See, the children of Israel, they couldn't fully walk in purpose and walk into the land of Canaan until Moses started walking in his purpose.
Yeah.
When Moses began to walk in his purpose, then they could begin to walk in their purpose. See, that purpose really, they thought their purpose was in Egypt.
Wow.
They thought their purpose was in Egypt.
Yeah. They did.
But that was only a pit stop.
Yeah.
Their real purpose was in Canaan.
Yeah.
And it was locked up into somebody else. So I'm going to ask you a question. Who are you holding up?
Yes.
Who are you holding up?
Yes.
Who are you holding up?
Yeah.
By not doing what you have been called to do. By not walking in what you have been anointed to do. Who are you holding up?
Yeah.
Somebody is waiting on you. Somebody needs you. Somebody needs the greatness on the inside of you.
Yeah.
And see, here's what Jesus was talking about in John 10. He said, the joke comes to steal, kill, and destroy.
Yes, sir.
See, he comes to steal and kill your purpose, what's on the inside of you. He knows if you don't operate in that thing that you can't do what you're gonna. Hey, the flow of God, you're not going to, you could, like Job said, nothing can thwart the plans of God, but you may hinder it just for a moment. Just because you're not doing it. You know, I said this often, you can go to your destiny this way, or you can go to it this way.
Oh, yeah.
But you're going to get there. You're going to get there. So, who are you holding up?
Yeah.
See, the enemy doesn't care about your money. He doesn't care about your houses. He doesn't care about your cars.
Say it again.
But he's after your purpose and your potential that's on the inside of you. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
He's after your purpose. He's after that thing that God has put on the inside of you. If he can rob you of that,
He can get that. Yeah.
if he can rob you of that, He knows that. See, and listen, we get caught up in it. It's all about me. But if he can rob you,
Yes.
you probably 5 other people probably gonna get robbed as well because they counting on you. They waiting on you.
Yup.
They waiting on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pastor James, how many people destiny and potential you think you unlocked when you got in position and started your
Wow,
ministry?
yeah. Yeah. That's
How many people was waiting on you?
Yes, that's good. That's good.
Waiting on you.
That's good.
And most of the time we say we waiting on God. God says everything I've done, everything I'm gonna do. And listen, here's something for you. Everything that happens for you 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, God has already done it.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you can't work God. God is not getting off the throne. Everything that happens in the earth and everything that doesn't happen in the earth is on you.
It's on you.
Everything that happens in the earth is on you. Everything that doesn't happen is on you.
Yeah.
So God divinely demands and expects you to walk in purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard this story one time that it was a billionaire, and true story, he's a billionaire, and he had done everything in life that he had wanted to do. Had all the cars, had private jets, traveled the world, did everything. He said it was nothing that he didn't have, or nothing that he didn't do that he wanted to do. And he was on his deathbed dying. And his mentee, he said, his mentee was sharing this story. He said he began to talk to him and ask him, hey, listen, if you could come back and be anything that you wanted to be, what would it be?
Yeah.
He said, I would be the man that I never became.
Wow.
I would be the man that I never became.
Wow.
Think about that. I would be the man that I never became because he didn't truly walk in purpose. He didn't truly walk in what God called him to do. And I said this, I've been saying this, and when you're not walking in purpose, you know it because you're frustrated all the time. It's just a yearning inside of you. It's like Jeremiah, it's like fire shot up in your bones. And you just trying to get it out. And until you begin to walk in your purpose, you will never, ever feel fulfilled. There will always be a yearning for more.
Yeah.
There will always be a yearning for more. Always. You can have everything in the world, but it will always be a yearning for more. Always.
Always.
If you're not walking in your true purpose.
Yes.
Wow.
So in John 10:10, he says that the thief comes to kill, steal, and destroy the purpose that's on your life.
Yeah.
The calling
Yeah.
that God has put in you.
Amen.
But here's good news. That what God has put on the inside of you, nobody or nothing can take that away. Like it may sit dormant. You may not walk in it, but God, once God gives it, he never takes it away.
That's right.
That's the good news. The bad news is if you don't walk in it. That's the bad news. So who are you holding up?
Yes.
Who are you holding up?
That's good.
Who are you holding up if your marriage doesn't look like a kingdom marriage? Somebody's looking at you. You're a role model to somebody. Wrong, good, bad, wrong, indifferent. Somebody is looking at you.
Yes.
Who are you holding up?
Yes.
Your finances not in order, all these things. Who are you holding up? Who are you holding up? We're trying to leave legacies here.
Yes.
Yes.
And if we're not walking in what we're called to do, we are holding somebody up. Not all about us, but we're holding somebody up. I need you guys to get that. We're holding somebody up. So he comes to steal that joy that Minister Danielle talked about in Galatians 5:22. He comes to try and steal that joy. But here's the thing about joy. He didn't give it so he can't take it away. God is the one who's the source of your joy.
Yes. Yes.
God is the source of your joy.
Yes.
He's the source of it. We hear it a lot that you can't buy happiness, and yeah, you can buy that. Yeah, you can, because somebody come and give you a house or car. Yeah, you're gonna be happy about it.
Happy.
Yeah. But that's only momentarily.
Yeah.
He comes to get that triumph, still that joy inside of you, and it's a counterfeit. He disguises it real good. Touches those things that we have made holy grail to us.
Wow.
Yes.
And we begin to get distracted by the distractions. We get distracted by the distractions. And a lot of times that causes us from walking in our true purpose, causes us from walking in our true intent.
Yeah.
On the reason why we was created.
Yes. Teach it.
Cows don't bark.
There you go.
Yeah, they don't bark. They weren't created to do that. So while we as God's most prized possession, doing things that we were not, does not align with us walking in purpose. Who you holding up?
Wow.
The power of purpose.
Yes.
Something that begins to happen when you walk in purpose.
Yeah.
I talked a few weeks ago, real quickly, about your purpose. Your purpose is always connected to a time and a place. Your purpose is always connected to a time and a place. In Luke 2:42, it says at the age of 12,
Yes, sir.
it says at the age of 12, Jesus began to really walk in purpose. At the age of 12, it says that he was in the temple, in the synagogue. It says he was asking questions and he was teaching the Pharisees.
Yes, sir.
At the age of 12.
Yes, sir.
At the age of 12. That was his time.
Yes.
That was his time. When is your time? In Exodus 7:7, when Moses got his calling, when he didn't get his calling until he was 80 years old, that was his time.
Yes.
Jesus was 12, Moses was 80. So a principle here is this, that you're never too young or you're never too old to walk in purpose or walk in what God has called you to do.
Yes.
He will redeem the time.
Yes. Yes.
See, because here's what 2 Peter 3:8 says, that Peter says that a day is like 1,000 years to God, and 1,000 years is like a day. So God is not worried. God don't operate inside of time. He created time for me and you. God doesn't operate in time.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That's it.
So you may be 80. I hope not. You may be 12. But you're never too young or you're never too old
That's right.
Amen.
to walk in what God has called you to do.
Yes.
I also said that your purpose is connected to a place as well.
You better believe it.
Your purpose is always connected to a place. See, it's something about when you get in position and start operating in what God called you to do.
Yes,
now,
sir.
here's a mistake that you can't make. Sometimes you can be in the wrong place doing the right thing and nothing happens.
Yeah.
That's solid.
It is.
You can be doing the right thing in the wrong place
Yep.
and nothing happens. Jesus even got caught up with this in Matthew 13. It said that when he went back to his own town, he said that they didn't recognize him and they didn't accept him. So it said that he could only do a couple things, and he wanted to do miracles in that place. He wanted to do something supernatural in that place. It said, but they didn't believe him, so he could only lay hands on a few people and heal them. And he had to keep moving. So it's something about when you get in position, your purpose is always connected to a place.
Yeah. Yeah.
always connected to a place. So,
Yeah.
so just because somewhere may look good, just because it may look good,
Yeah.
don't mean it's for you.
There you go.
All right. All right.
In the book of Acts 14, y'all know the Apostle Paul, who wrote almost a third of the New Testament. It talked about how Paul went to different places, battling with people in the Word, and it says that he was doing the right thing because he was preaching Jesus. But a lot of times it says that he got stoned and he got thrown out the city.
Oh yeah.
Your purpose is always connected to a place.
Yes.
It also talked about, but when he went to certain places that some people, it said they readily accept the word and they believed on the name Jesus because he was in the right place. If something happens when you get in position,
Yes, sir.
something happens.
That's right.
I know all of you guys have experienced this well. Pastor James, this is a good one right here. Your abundance is even connected to a place.
Yeah.
Because you can be in certain places doing things and nothing happens. But once you get in position
Yes, sir.
and get in a place that you're supposed to be, the windows of heaven open up.
Yes.
The windows of heaven open up.
Say it again.
Your purpose is always connected to a place. I said this earlier. The children of Israel, when they was in Egypt, they was just getting by. How many of you just been in a just getting by situation? Just getting by.
Yes, sir.
And you made one step over here
Yeah.
and got to the place where you were supposed to be.
Yep.
And the floodgate opened.
Yes.
The floodgate opened.
Yes.
When they began, see, they was in Egypt. They was Egypt. But something happened when God made them a promise about the land of Canaan. That land that was flowing with unlimited resources. That purpose was connected to that place.
Yes.
Yes.
It was connected to that place. So you got to make sure you're in the right place.
Yes, God.
Because your purpose is always connected to a time
Yes, sir.
and a place.
Yes, sir.
Always. Always connected to a time and a place. Always. 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 Did I say always?
Always.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I said it. Always. In Romans 8. Romans 8. 37 through 39. Y'all know this guy as well, right? He's the Apostle Paul. He says this in Romans 8 and 37 through 39. I want to tell you this, that when you begin to walk in purpose, that divinely ordained thing that God has called you to do,
Yes, sir.
that provision is waiting on you. Resources are waiting on you. Divine connections are waiting on you. Everything that you need is waiting on you. I say this all the time, that when God calls you to do something and when you begin to do it, sometimes we get stuck on how it's going to happen. And y'all know what I say. How it's going to happen is none of your business.
Yeah.
How it's going to happen is none of your business. You just got to step out. Because God has already seen the beginning from the end. So he knows. Let him worry about it.
Yes.
So the Apostle Paul says this in Romans 8:37. He says, nay, in all things we are more than conquerors through him that love us. Hey, listen, he didn't say we was just conquerors. He said you are more than conquerors. And more than a conqueror, that means that you don't only tear it up. That means you totally destroy something.
Yes.
You totally destroy it.
Yes.
We ain't just sitting out playing with it no more. Hey, listen. Jesus displayed that so mightily, right? So when even when he was casting out demons, they had on sick and healing people, Jesus said, "Be healed." And he kept it moving.
Yes.
Kept it moving because he knew he was more than a conqueror.
Yes.
He was more than a conqueror. And it says, "For I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, nor health, nor death, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus our
Yes,
Lord.
sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Now I need to throw a disclaimer out there on this right here, right? Now you know a lot of times when the Apostle Paul is talking, he says, this is I Paul talking. This is not the Lord. This is Paul talking. This is me Paul talking, right? And so Paul is saying this. Paul said, I believe that nothing can separate us.
Nothing.
He says that now in all things we are more than conquerors.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Now you got to get this. Now Paul can boldly declare this because of the relationship and the walk he had with God.
Yes.
So here's my question. Can you boldly declare that?
Yes.
Can you boldly declare
Yes,
that?
yes.
In all things you are
Yes,
more than a
yes.
conqueror. Can you boldly declare that? Are you walking in such a place with God that you can boldly?
Both.
I ain't talking about just religion where that's the right thing to
Right
say.
thing
They
to
just
say.
sound good. I'm talking about when you walking around with a level of authority. I was messing with Prophet Ross earlier with when you can be like Joshua and say, hey, moon, sun, stay still.
Stay still. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Stay still. Are you walking in that level of authority?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
When you can walk around when your bank account may be negative and you say, I'm more than a conqueror. And you know things have to happen.
Yes.
Just because the level of authority that you are walking in.
Yes. Yes, God.
Are you in such a place with God that even when the relationship and the marriage is going crazy, you say, I know this is a kingdom marriage no matter what it looks like.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And me and my wife, we're not perfect. We have a little spats too. But one thing I came to do is this. I'm not perfect. But one thing I have trained my mind to do seriously is whenever we do have disagreements, I begin to speak life over her. Seriously. I can't remember over the last couple months, a year, or whatever, where we got into a disagreement, and I began to say things like, man, she is crazy. She crazy. Lord, help her. But I began to speak life into her. She is the woman of God. She is that Proverbs 31 woman. Guys, let me tell you a secret. That Proverbs 31 woman, she don't exist. You got to create her. You got to begin to speak life over her. You got to begin to speak that she is that one. She don't exist. You got to begin to create that and cultivate that Proverbs 31 woman.
Yes.
We are more than conquerors. Are you in that place where you can walk with God and call those things that are not as though they are? When you begin to walk in purpose, you have that type of authority, because when you begin to align yourself with the Word of God and get into His grace flow, provision is waiting.
Yes.
Resources are waiting.
Yes.
Everything that you need is waiting on you. Think about it. I know you guys are, some of you are in that place. You've experienced that place where you just know you just frustrated and stuff was going on. But again, when you got in position and you was like, man, things just begin to happen. No, things just don't happen. Things happen just when you get in position.
Yes.
Just when you begin to walk in what God has called you to do.
Yes.
Things happen then. Yeah, they don't just happen. They happen because of the preparation.
Yes.
Because you take it step by step, getting into position. Step by step, because you begin to walk in purpose. When you over here, you kind of on your own. You not under your cover. But when you begin to walk in purpose and get over here, then you under a cover. My pastor used to give this illustration all the time about how when you go down the road and you see the speed limit and it says 55, as long as you go on 55 and below,
You're under the cover.
you under the cover. But when you on the 56 and above,
You're outside of the cover.
you outside the cover.
Yeah.
My point is this. That speed limit sign is serving a purpose. It's serving a purpose.
Yes.
Telling you, if you stay right here, you cover.
Yeah, yeah.
And nothing gonna happen to you.
Yep.
You can go wherever you need to go. You can get that safe.
Under the cover.
Under the cover.
Under the curtain.
But once you get,
We gotta ask for grace, Pastor. We gotta ask for
once you get from under that covering,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Lord help us.
once you hit 56 miles per hour and over,
No ticket,
Uh-huh.
Lord.
Oh, we need grace.
yeah, you need that grace then. You're not under covering anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So in all things,
Mm.
Paul says we are more than conquerors. We are more than conquerors.
Yes, God. Thank you, Father.
Something happens
Yes, sir.
when you begin to walk in purpose. Something happens when you really get on one accord with your husband and your wife and you become one flesh.
Gonna believe you.
Yes,
Magic happens.
yes.
I talk to people and they living together and they doing the things and they say, well, nothing. We finna get married, and I hear them say it all the time, and nothing changes. And I said that before, but let me tell you something. When you just living together and when you get married, this is what God gave me the revelation of now. Everything changes.
Yeah.
Brother know it.
Everything changes.
Yes.
Because now, most of all, God sees you as one. He
Yes.
doesn't see you. Hey, listen, you can stay together 100 years,
Uh-huh.
and God still sees you as two. But when you make a covenant, when you get in covenant,
Get in covenant.
He sees you as one. Everything changes.
Everything.
Everything.
Everything changes. Everything.
Everything.
When you date, that's just a contract.
Yeah, you can get out of
You
that.
don't- yeah, if you don't like the contract, just tear it up.
Tear it up. Bye.
Yeah, and that's the difference in a contract and a covenant. On a contract, you don't like the terms of it. You know, things were wrong. Just tear it up and walk away.
Yeah, that lease right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. It's on lease. Tear it up and walk away.
Yeah.
But when you in covenant, that's life changing. And God is a covenant maker,
Yeah.
not a covenant breaker.
Yeah.
He's a covenant maker
Yes, sir.
and not a covenant breaker. And He promised us some things. That if we begin to walk in purpose, He said that the windows of heaven will be opened up. I'm sorry, let me take that back. He said they are open. They are open. We don't have to wait for the doors to be open when you begin to walk in purpose. They're already open.
Yeah.
We just got to walk through them.
Yeah.
In Deuteronomy 28, he says this. He says that if you hearken diligently unto my voice, he said that all these blessings would overtake you. He named out about 15 verses of blessings. Blessings and blessings. 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 He said you'll be the lender, not the borrower. How many of you want to be the lender and not the borrower? How many of you want to be the head and not the tail?
Amen.
And you want to be above and not beneath?
Yeah.
He said that you will be blessed going, you will be blessed coming.
Amen.
Everywhere you go, everywhere your feet shall tread,
Uh-huh.
He is giving you that place. That's what He told the children of Israel. That's what He told Joshua. He says that, hey, listen, because you are walking in purpose, because you are doing what I call you to do, He said, everywhere your feet shall tread,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I have given you that place.
Amen.
It's yours.
Yes, God.
It's yours. You are more than a conqueror. You are more than a conqueror.
Amen.
He says you are more than not just a conqueror. You are more than a conqueror. Guys, listen, I want you just to, just take a minute right now. Take a second. Whatever that thing is that has been hindering you, whatever that is that keep nagging on you, just tell it right now. I said, I am more than a conqueror. You have dominion over that thing. You have authority over that thing.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yes, God.
Don't pity pat with it anymore.
Yes.
Don't pity pat with it anymore. You don't have time for that. You got purpose to walk in.
Yes. Yes, God.
You got purpose to walk in.
Yes.
Now I want to share something quick with you, right quick before I close. In John 11, you guys know the story. This is about, and I'll just talk real quick. This is about Jesus and Lazarus, right? And Lazarus, you know, he was a friend of God. They talked throughout that scripture how Jesus loved him and all these things, and that Martha and Mary, his sisters. It talked about in John 11. It said that Lazarus was sick, and they go tell Jesus that Lazarus, your friend, the one you love, is sick.
Mm-hmm.
And Pastor James, here's what Jesus says. Here's what Jesus, all cool and calm, he says this to him. He says, this sickness is not unto death.
Mm-hmm.
He said, this sickness is not unto death.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Lazarus died.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He said, this sickness is not unto death.
Yes, sir.
But a few scriptures later, Lazarus died.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Why did Jesus say that? In his omniscience, meaning that he knowing all things, Jesus, why would you say something so contradictory? Why would you say that? Jesus, knowing his purpose, goes on to tell them why he says, I did this so that you all may eventually believe.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, Jesus says that I'm glad he died. And for your sake, I'm glad I was not there.
Yeah.
Jesus said, I'm glad he died.
Amen.
He said, because I'm going to do something so amazing, so supernatural, you don't have no choice but to
But
believe.
to believe.
Yeah.
But to believe. Because that's why he came, right? So that those that believed on him would have eternal life. That was Jesus' purpose, right? So he says that I'm glad he died. So because I'm going to do a work so supernatural that you guys don't have no choice but to believe. Matter of fact, Jesus goes on to say this in one scripture. He says that if you don't believe in me, at least believe on the works that I do.
Yeah.
He said, at least do that.
Yeah.
At least do that. So Jesus begins to say the sickness is not unto death, and Lazarus dies. And Jesus says, I'm glad he died for your sake. I'm glad I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And as you study history, it says that where Jesus was to where Lazarus was only 2 miles.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
Jesus wait 2 days, couple days before he even goes there. He waits a couple days before he goes there. I'm getting to my point I want to leave you with. I'm getting to my point. So Jesus gets there, and once the people begin to see Jesus, they run to Martha and Mary, and they begin to tell them, well, Jesus, he could have saved him.
Mm-hmm.
He could have did all these things.
Right.
He could have did this. Then he could have did all these things.
Mm.
Say it again.
So here's the point 1. When you walking in purpose,
Uh-huh.
you gotta be careful who's whispering in your ear.
Yep.
Yes, God.
Say it again.
Amen.
You gotta be careful who's whispering in your ear or what you're listening to, because some things are just on assignment.
Yes. Yes.
Some things are just on an assignment. And you got to recognize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ain't about you.
That's their sign.
They just on assignment.
Yep.
Judas was just on an assignment. Jesus knew.
Yeah.
And you got the ability to walk in the same discernment. That when you are under attack, you got to know that whatever was sent had an assignment. And you can't let that hinder you from walking in what God called you to do.
Yes.
You can't let that rob you
Amen.
of your faith. Are you believing? Because that's part of our purpose is to believe Jesus.
Yeah.
Believe in every word that God says.
Yeah.
So they come and tell Martha and Mary, hey, Jesus could have did this. Why did he do this, all this? Did he love him, all these things, and all these things, and they trying to get them to, they was on assignment. So you got to recognize that. And then Jesus quiets them. He says, hey, listen. He didn't even say nothing to them. He began to speak to the ones that he was close. He began to speak to Martha and Mary and say, hey, listen. He tells them, he says, hey, Lazarus will be raised. And for a very quick minute, the ones that was gossiping, Mary and them listened to for just a minute because they said, well, Jesus, we know he gonna be raised in the afterlife. Jesus said, no. I mean, like he gonna be raised right now.
Right now.
We're talking about some right now faith. We ain't talking about some later on faith.
Yes.
So we're talking about some right now faith. Some right now faith. Right now. So you guys know the rest of the story. Jesus raises him up and does all these things, and Lazarus goes on to do some things, but Jesus knew what his purpose was. See, here's what happened when you begin to walk in purpose. You got to walk with an assurance and an assurance that knowing that what God has called you to do is a divine thing. It's divine, meaning that can't no one and can't nothing take it from you because they didn't give it to you. God is the only one who can do a divine thing. So Jesus says this. Jesus says this in John 11, and I'm just going to talk to it real quick for the sake of time. Jesus says this when he begins to, right before he raises Lazarus, he begins to pray. He says, Father, he says that before he raised Lazarus, and then he begins to talk to the Father, he said, Father, he said, this is the type of assurance that Jesus walked in. He said that I raised him up, and he said, Father, I knew. He said, I knew that you heard me. He said, I knew that you heard me when I told Lazarus to wake up. He says, I knew that you heard me. He says, I knew that you heard me. So when you begin to walk in what you said God has called you to, walk in your purpose, you got to walk with an assurance. You got to walk bold. You got to walk with such a confidence that people may call it arrogant. But you're not arrogant. You just confident in your God. Yeah, you just confident in your God.
Yes.
And you just tell him this, that I know I heard God.
Yes.
I know that it was God speaking. I know, said, Father, I know that you heard me.
Yes, I know. You heard me, Lord.
You got to walk in a level of assurance that can't no devil in hell shake you.
Yes, God.
Can't no devil in hell rob you.
Yes, God. Yes.
Of what God has called you to do. And stopped you from walking in your purpose. Stopped you from walking in the anointing that God has on your life. That's the kind of confidence that you got to have. It come hell or high water, you're going to walk through it. That you're going to walk through it. It don't matter what it look like. It don't matter what it sound like. Just keep walking.
Keep walking.
Keep walking towards what God called you to do.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord.
Watch
yes.
how things line up.
Uh-huh.
Yes, God.
Watch how things line up.
Amen.
Watch how divine connections begin to just come forth.
Amen.
Yes. Yes, God.
Something happens when you get in position.
You better believe it.
Yes, Lord.
Something happens when you get in position.
Amen.
Once you get there, you can't let nothing take you from that place.
Yes, God. Thank you.
Amen.
You can't let no one or nothing take you from the place that God has called you.
Yes.
And a lot of times it may be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
A lot of times you may not know how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Most of the time, God is not going to show you
Mm.
how it's going to happen.
Nope.
And that is the area where God operates best, in the unknown.
Uh-huh.
That's what he does his best work
In
in.
the unknown.
God does his best work when you come to the end of yourself.
Come on now.
When you come to the end of the road. When you come to this line right here, you can't cross it because you don't know what's over there.
Amen.
God is doing his best work in that place right there. Right there, right there, right there, right there.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Right when you don't know how that next meal coming.
Yes.
Right when you don't know how the next bill is going to be paid.
Yes. Uh-huh.
All right.
That's the place where God shows up and shows out. Right where the children of Israel, when they was being chased by Pharaoh and the army, they didn't know where to go. To the left and to the right was the desert, and in front of them was the Red Sea. Right where they didn't have a way out.
Yes. Uh-huh. Say it.
In that place is where God does his best work.
Best word.
Yes.
That's hey, listen, I say this. Chaos is fertile ground for miracles to manifest.
Yes.
Chaos is fertile ground
Yes.
for miracles to manifest.
Uh-huh.
Chaos
Chaos.
is fertile ground
Yes.
for miracles
Mm-hmm.
to manifest.
Yes, it is.
Y'all give God some praise.
Yes.
Bless your name, God. You are awesome. You are awesome. You are awesome.